The Prime Minister's trip comes one day after he announced plans to drop retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods covered by CUSMA. That's the North American Free Trade Agreement. To discuss further, we're joined now by John Manley, former Deputy Prime Minister in Jean Chrétien's Liberal government. Mr. Manley, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. What was your reaction to the government's decision to drop these tariffs?
I wasn't honestly that surprised by it. We were only one of two countries that had imposed retaliatory tariffs that didn't exempt anything that was subject to a free trade agreement, the other country being China. So that wasn't good company for us. The Mexicans had already moved in this direction. And I think for Canada, the biggest prize in this whole thing that whatever it is that we end up with, we're hoping to preserve as much as we can of that USMCA or CUSMA trade agreement.
Right. And the criticism we've heard from the political opposition, as well as Unifor, Canada's largest private sector union, and others, is that the Prime Minister keeps making these concessions with nothing tangible in return. Do you worry that risks undermining our bargaining position?
It's easy for us to think that we have a strong bargaining position. We have some challenges in that. Clearly, the U.S. market is way more important to us than ours is to them. So we need to, I think, take that into account. And secondly, we've all been saying this, tariffs are dumb. Tariffs are a stupid thing to do because they're not paid for by other countries. They're paid for by your own domestic consumers. So if we think that's true and that it will ultimately be realized by Americans that this is costing them money, then why would we impose tariffs on our own consumers? That's not a sign of strength. That's a sign that we're just as dumb as they are.
And we're almost out of time here, but Mark Carney, as we all know, campaigned on elbows up. That message helped to get him elected. Does this reversal hurt him politically, do you think?
Well, I think he has to explain it, and I think it can be explained. But I think there's no doubt that elbows up is still the sentiment of the Canadian population. I think Doug Ford has been very good at channeling that, I guess, zeitgeist of the Canadian population in ways that Mark Carney probably should not, given that he has to deal with Donald Trump. But I think Canadians are still elbows up. But let's be smart. Gordie Howe, that's where the expression came from. He didn't put his elbows up the moment he was tripped. He'd wait. He might even wait till another game, and his elbows would go in somebody's ear. So, let's play this smart. I think that's what we're counting on Mark Carney to do.
All right, John Manley, former Canadian Deputy Prime Minister, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.